Brian Moran, founder of Government CIO. Welcome to Government CIO Magazine.
Hi, this is Hillary Wax with Government CIO Magazine. Today we will be interviewing the Acting Assistant Secretary for the Office of Information and Technology at Veterans Affairs, Steph Warren.
So, great question, Hillary, in terms of what have we done at the VA with respect to IT. If I go back and I look 2 years and I look at where we were from product delivery. So IT is basically a product and services organization. From a product delivery standpoint, the promise of PMAS has been realized. The idea that we were going to do sharp, short, iterative deliveries has moved us from delivering on about 40% of our projects on schedule to today we're over 80%. So over 80% of the projects we start deliver the capability on schedule. And then for the ones that did not deliver on schedule, 85% of them made the delivery of the product, but they were 30 days late. And if I look at the total projects we started, over 98% of the efforts we start with the outcome we need to do gets delivered. And so I think that's just a tremendous change in us as an organization of being able to meet what the mission needs such that we're delivering those benefits and services to veterans. So this move to an agile iterative approach, this term we're using, PMAS, what has it done to us in terms of as an organization? We are more responsive to what our customer needs. We're more responsive to what our client, the veteran, needs. The fact that we're able to quickly move out on projects, the fact that we're able to deliver them, we've actually tripled the capacity in terms of the amount of work, the amount of customer-facing functionality we're delivering to the mission side and that they're using to support our veterans. And that's allowed us to do more. It's allowed us to be more efficient and effective with the resources we've been given, and it's allowed the organization to move a lot faster to some of the outcomes that we need in terms of making sure our veterans receive those benefits and services. And I'll tell you, an IT organization is a product and services company, and it has a layer of customer service around it. We've done a tremendous amount of work in the last 3-4 years to figure out how do we do product delivery, to the point of we're delivering products, and I can talk about greater than 80% on schedule, 85% within 30 days, 98% delivered ultimately once we've worked our way all the way through. But as a result of doing that, as a result of moving that flywheel, if you will, in terms of products, we've impacted how we do services. So we've changed the way we do contracting. So we now contract by increments. So we align the contract vehicle not up with the calendar, but with the outcome. We've looked at the way that we staff the organization, and we put a competency model in place such that we build project teams on the fly based upon what the increment needs. So we build teams, we break down teams, and while we're doing that, we're making sure the members of the team, the employees, are getting the training and the support they need to continue to mature as individuals. So DevOps is an interesting idea, and I will tell you it's a natural evolution off of Agile and Iterative. So Agile and Iterative means move things faster and cut them into smaller pieces. DevOps is tying that operations organization into the development organization. So you maintain this seamless connection from building new capability and delivering new capability into operating at the same time. So you have this integrated team that is focused on catching it as it comes out and then running it without a break. We've applied that methodology to all of the systems necessary to support eliminating the backlog, from the receipt of the claim or the request from the veteran electronically, through the VBMS system, which is used for capturing and presenting it in an e-folder, to the decision, and then it's flowing into legacy systems to actually make the payment. So the idea of one team is actually looking at it from building it, through deploying it, and then operating it. I would tell you that the VA is probably sitting middle of the pack with respect to maturity on mobility. We use a lot of tools and devices. We broadened it beyond just a single vendor. And so started with that tied into the back of the enterprise. We bought a mobile device manager, which allows us to manage multiple devices, and so we are carrying support for iProducts, for Android products, for BlackBerries and others, to make sure they actually can knit up to the infrastructure and that we can manage them, such that as we used to do with BlackBerries, when somebody lost one, we're able to turn it into a brick very quickly. We now can do that with all those other devices. And the MDM also supports us in terms of exposing more capability. So it's more than just email. It's how do we bring mission capability into that device while protecting the data, which is a key concern for us, is making sure that veterans' information is safeguarded and is receiving the same level of care and concern that the veteran receives from us. One of the great things, I talked about mobile and the maturity of the VA with respect to mobile, is we're moving very fast. We're using the ability of mobile plus iterative, that agile approach I talked about with PMAS, to be able to quickly take an idea and turn it into a reality. So once a year, the VA does something called a PIT count, or a point in time, on the homeless program. And just as a refresher, the homeless program is we've moved from just taking veterans and moving them off the street into a shelter to 4 years, the Secretary said we have to do better than that. We've got to aim higher. So the idea of get the veteran off the street, get them into a shelter, and then move them up the chain such that they can experience the American dream. And so to see how we're doing in terms of getting them off the street, we go and do point-in-time surveys. We've been doing it with paper. This year, 2 weeks before that point-in-time or PIT count, the team came to us and said, hey, we'd really like to do this using electronic devices. And we were able to turn in 2 weeks to have a device deployed out in the field, so the folks doing the PIT count were proving the technology and the concept. So very quick movement, and just drawing upon the work we've done in the last 2 years of agile, iterative, PMAS, using mobile technologies and the blended teams in terms of how do we do things together. I would tell you another place where a lot of work has taken place is under the caregivers legislation, where as an entity we're going to support family members who are helping the severely ill or wounded veterans. We're in the home, so we actually are deploying on an iPad. So in this case we use that as the mechanism, a clinic in hand, so the ability to actually reach in and see what the caregivers need to know as part of working with their family member. Again, a mobile device that allows us to quickly expose the data, use the data, and deliver the quality care that the VA has become known for. So cloud strategy is an interesting thing that we as a federal government, not just the VA, but the larger federal government is dealing with. And I'll tell you, we're very mature with respect to private clouds. So we've been working with private clouds where we build, we own it, and it fits within our constraints and our boundaries for many years now. We're moving into the public cloud area, and I'll tell you, it's harder than one would expect. The capability is out there in terms of GSA has done a great job of getting FedRAMP up and us being able to use it, but there's some underlying processes that still need to be worked out. And I'll give you the best example is with email. How long do you need to, and how long should you retain an email? Right? And where should the email sit? So in other words, if there's a litigation hold as a result of an action need to be taken, and somebody needs to go out and find the email on the disk drive on the server, how do you do that? So when you move to a cloud, the idea is you spread it, you get the efficiencies of scale, but there are some business processes that actually require you to be able to go and find the specific thing. And I'll tell you, we're still wrestling with that. We have a pilot that we're working on, and it's not going as smoothly as we would like it to. I'll tell you the stats, the OMB stats allows us to continue our effort of transparency, of making sure that we're able to communicate progress and performance. If you go back and you look at the VA statistics in terms of the CIO dashboard, you'll see that early on we were one of the first agencies that wasn't doing everything green and everything is wonderful, because we believe transparency is something that's critical to us, and that projects need to be clearly scored and identified, and it's not a I may succeed. We've set a standard that says if you do not have an 80% confidence that you will deliver on a commitment, you throw the flag and we work it through. So very early on, we identify where there's an issue and we score it that way and we communicate it. We don't wait until after you've missed the delivery date to say, oh, I'm going to miss the delivery date. And that's just a tremendous change in mindset to the organization, and the OMB STAT process reinforces that and supports us in doing that. I will tell you the piece, and it's a learning aspect of it is, as a leader, there's probably a handful of things that you can personally take charge and control of. And as a result of that, you need to be very careful on what you pick as your key items that you are going to focus on. But more importantly is making sure the next level in your leadership team then takes on the next package of stuff that they're responsible for. You can't do it all. What you need to be doing is building a strong leadership team, as we have at the VA, and giving them what they need to do and letting them take charge and take it to delivery. So one of the great things that we've been working on for the last couple of years in supporting eliminating the backlog is rolling out the benefit system, or VBMS. It is one component of about an 88 set of systems that support that effort. In the last 2 years, we've rolled out 24 packages, so into production, into use. We are now sitting at 46 locations, 46 of the 54 regional offices. They have the system, they are using it every day. They are seeing tremendous impact and performance improvement as they're using this tool. And they're applying that tool to the people changes in terms of the training, getting them the skill sets and the tools they need to succeed, as well as the process changes that the department has laid out. So we're an integral part of that effort to make sure that we eliminate the backlog, because we as an organization are very aware of any veteran waiting for a benefit is unreasonable, and we're all focused on making that happen. And again, as part of our work on VBMS, we're supporting the benefits organization to bring the tools in place that allows their employees to move those claims through using those new processes and get to the commitment that the Secretary's made. A key thing to consider when you ask, what does an IT organization do, or where is an IT organization, where are you successful, is step back a little bit and ask, what is IT and what's your role in mission delivery, or what's your role in delivery of benefits and services to the citizen. We've looked at how we do that PMAS process, the delivery process, and it used to be 94 things that people needed to do, and we went through it, we reduced it down to 27, because it's more than just do you follow the process, it's do you efficiently and effectively deliver those products. So we've looked at acquisition, we've looked at people, we've looked at the process, and we've looked at organizationally how do we do this. And so a lot of the focus is on how do you do product, and then recognizing that as you do that, there's an impact to the rest of the way the organization works. So in the next coming years, we're focused on customer service. How do we get out there and make sure our operations organization is positioned to catch those products and actually run them effectively? And how, even more importantly, we're aligned with our customers. We're listening to what their needs are. We're listening to what our employees are, so that we are delivering quality products, and we're then continuing to run those quality products. And this is a great place for people to come and work.